Welcome everybody. We have a very blustery day today. I think something's blowing in. And so I wanted to get out to the garden and pick edamame. This is my edamame patch here. Every year I grow it. And this year I think has been a pretty spectacular year. There has been some insect damage, but every year there is, but it still does not affect the crop. This edamame I got from Baker Creek. It's called Midori Giant, and it's what I've gotten in the past. It's an exceptionally hardy plant. Most years I don't even water it. I'll give it a little watering at the start if we're having a dry beginning, but usually I just let it go. This year it happens to be in a spot where I have drip irrigation, so it has grown a bit taller. We've had a couple storms and it blew over, so I had to give it some support along its sides. But other than that, I don't feed it. It's a legume, so it has those nitrogen fixating nodules on its roots. So when I do harvest, I don't want to pull out the whole plant. I'm going to snip it off at ground level and let that nitrogen, those nodules, stay in the soil, so it will just release it back into the soil and be available for the plant that I'm going to be planting in this bed next year, which I'm thinking might be tomatoes. Just wanted to talk a little bit about edamame as a plant and as a food source. It is a soybean, and there's a lot of people that don't like soy in their diet. But this soybean is really, you're eating the immature soybean. So it's not quite matured again. You pick it before it all dries, and then that's usually what the mass producers harvest it dry, grind it up, and use it for, whatever. They put it in the tofu, the oils, the whatever else they have going on. This is an immature variety. Hasn't fully reached its maturity. This is the plant. I just chopped it off at the bottom. You can see how many pods that it has. Quite a good deal, at least a couple dozen pods per plant. So it's quite prolific, and you get a lot for your bang for your growth buck. But edamame is a very good source of protein. It's great if you want to tend towards a vegetarian diet, or you are a vegetarian or a vegan. There's a little over 18 grams of protein that would be sufficient in your diet. So that's quite a lot for a bean plant, more than any other bean that you may grow. It's also high in vitamin K, folic acid, lots of vitamins and minerals in this plant. Now what I do, I will pick all these pods off it, I'm gonna harvest the whole plant just like this, pick off the pods, I'll wash them, and then I'll blanch them for about a minute or so, dry them off, and then I flash freeze them. And as I need or want them, I will take them out of the freezer at that point. What you do is you can steam them for about 5 minutes, throw them on a steamer pot, about 5 minutes, even, you don't even have to thaw them. And then they come out like this, and all you have to do is you squeeze the pod and the beans just pop out. The grandkids just love it because they're playing with their food. So it is a delightful treat. It's also very good for you, highly nutritious. If you haven't ever grown edamame, I would suggest give it a try. There's a lot of bang for your buck in this plant. So before the heavens start opening up and maybe we get rain or it gets windier, I gotta harvest some edamame. So come along with me as we dig up our plant. There we go, all harvested, 2 rows. The row is about 15 feet, and it should be a very, very substantial crop. They look pretty heavy. Still a lot of weeds in here. When they get big and thick, it's very hard to get in here and weed between the rows, but no problem. I don't have a fastidious garden. I have a couple tomatillos that were buried in here, and there's tomatillos all over the ground. I'm going to have to come out and get those. But so let's see what I got. There we go. Looks like a heaping amount, but most of it is foliage. But let me get busy and stripping these of their pods and see what the crop looks like this year. All done. Here's the leftovers. Those will go into the compost bin. They are not the prettiest looking edamame I've ever grown, but I was a little late in harvesting. I was ill, and so I didn't get to these. I probably should have gotten to them about a week or so ago. You want to harvest them when they're a little on the greenish side, not so dark green, but just a little limey color green. Definitely, I'll find one here. This one's starting to turn brown. I'll probably just discard that one. You don't want that. That means they're drying out. But anyway, this is a nice crop. I'm going to go in and process those as soon as I can. I did have a little, had some insect damage, of course, on the foliage, but I always have a little bit of that because I don't use any insecticides or herbicides or anything like that on my gardens. I did have a little bit of rodent nibblings. I'm going to blame the chipmunks because I see plenty of chipmunks this year. But I guess I'm going to share my harvest with those little friends in the garden. So thanks for coming out with me today while I harvest my edamame. It's a little chilly. I think I'm going to go and get my jacket on. But I have another project just behind this cart that I'm going to be working on next. And maybe I'll give you a sneak peek at that in just a minute. So if you haven't tried edamame, give it a try. It's really good. They're very good. They're like a, somebody called them like a lima bean, but you know, I am not a lima bean fan. They taste a little on the mealy side to me. These are not like that at all. They're more on the side of a pea, but a little bit bigger. So give them a try. They're very hands-off crop to grow. Nothing special about them, no special needs. They do a great job in your garden. Plant them, leave them alone, harvest them, eat them. Anyway, so thanks for following me. If you're new, please subscribe and click the notification bell when I have a new video coming up. So until the next time that we can go digging in the dirt, happy gardening. Bye.